On this trip around the county, we get an inside look into the Marching Millers, meet a Twitch mom, return to a classic video game, and get a 360 perspective on Roundabouts. All this and more on this trip around the county.
Welcome to Around the County. I'm Casey.
And I'm John. On Around the County, we take you to places you may have never been and introduce you to people you may not know.
The site Twitch isn't just for a young gamer. It's also for a Noblesville mom who spends her time as a local live streamer. Let's take a dive into the life of a Twitch mom. Producer Marissa Perkins travels along to document what it's like on the other side of the camera.
Kaba is truly a remarkable woman who, in her spare time, is a Twitch streamer.
How would I describe myself? Oh, I'm really nothing interesting. I'm delightfully boring, and I'm very glad about that fact. I had a childhood that was less than ideal, and I'm very glad to have an extremely normal family and house. And other than the fact that I talk to 97 strangers on the internet 3 nights a week, I love stability, and I love having a nice, normal thing, and I love being able to provide that to other people.
Katie's a really cool lady. She Twitch streams her baking food and dim for her family, and she has 4 lovely kids.
When she live streams, there's mean people on the internet, and she handles them with such grace. Like, I'd probably cry myself to sleep all the time if I got so much hate.
I appreciate you. You're pretty fat. I try. You know, I have some genetics that I have to work against because my mother is naturally thin. But I feel like I just really pull my own weight here, and I get it done. I get the fat done. You know, here's the secret. You want the secret? Puppy Cheetos. Hide it in your bedroom. Your kids go to bed.
And she's so grateful for the people she meets on the internet. Like, on her live stream, she's like, you know, you guys are like really great. Like, I don't know why you guys watch me for like a year. And she's like Twitch famous because she's cool.
Ooh, sometimes I get some hate from the kids on Reddit. Sometimes they say mean things about me and say that I'm a terrible mother. And then, like, I just think to myself, like, they're behind a keyboard. So if they feel the need to say something mean about me, like, they must need a hug. That seems like a sign that somebody needs a hug. And so it used to bother me a whole lot, but then now not so much. It's more of a, like, I just am sad for them.
On top of all this, Katie struggles with the challenges of motherhood.
What is it like to be a Twitch mom? Oh, jeez. It's a little odd at first because only my kids' friends know what I do. So all of my people my age have no idea what I'm doing. So for a few months there, I had to ask all of their friends' moms for permission to let their kid into my kitchen while we were streaming. But now it's sort of normaled out. What are you doing?
I did that!
Oh, you put all those emotes in chat?
Yeah.
And it's a little like that. Like, while you're trying to do stuff, your kids just run in and act a fool. So it tends to go okay with the chat. Like, my chat is very well behaved. They recognize that the kids are here, so they keep their rowdiness PG.
Along with being a mother, Katie is also very active in her faith life.
I am extremely Catholic. I like to tell people I'm a big fan of being Catholic. Being Catholic is my favorite thing about my life. So my stream has to endure me talking about Catholicism ad nauseum. On Fridays, we don't make meat. I also I do Life Teen at my church, which is like our youth group type thing. And then I lead a girls group for girls who are just a little bit more interested in getting in depth with Catholicism and their faith and understanding the Bible. So we read a lot of books of the Bible. We read a lot of commentaries, things like that.
And after the first Daughters of Grace meeting, I immediately felt like our faith, it was something that normal people did all of a sudden. And like, she really brings everything down to reality. And so
her impact on me, she's been like one of the biggest role models in my life, as far as like giving me a reality check on things while keeping it enjoyable.
Katie has had a phenomenal effect on my life. She's inspired me to, she has taught me more about my faith than I have taught me about my faith, I think. I am always in awe by how she treats other people with such joy and zest for life. I almost said joy and jest for life. She's affected me in that I can see that even as like a whole adult with a whole life and in like a family and doing stuff, she can still be weird and crazy, and it's kind of a really cool thing. Like, she's weird but she's cool and she's awkward, but so is everybody else, and she embraces that part of herself, and I love it. She's affected me in a way in that I crave knowledge more.
Other than teaching these young women, Katie is most proud of her family.
My greatest accomplishment is pushing 4 babies out of my body and into the world. I'm pretty proud of that. It was a freaking extra human thing, and it's amazing that it happened. And also I landed a really sexy husband.
And to no surprise, her goals in life extend into the afterlife.
I want to make sure that all 4 of my kids and my husband go to heaven. And me! That's it. I whatever God wants me to do, I want to do. I want to be prepared to do whatever it is that I'm asked to do.
The highly successful marching band at Noblesville High School picked up back-to-back championships in the last 2 years, but the program is seeing a lot of change this year. Producer Will Turner takes a look into the band program to learn more about these changes.
Sit back and enjoy the Marching Millers.
As most of you are very aware, our Marching Millers are excellent, winning the State Fair of Band Day 2 years in a row. This year, however, things are going a bit different, as they've changed their level of competition, going from a track show to a field show, and have elevated to the Bands of America competition. What's all that mean? That question and more, much more, will be answered soon, so buckle up.
Noblesville has been participating in State Fair Band Day track show competition. Obviously, we won that the past 2 years. We set the record for the highest score in the history of that competition in 50 years. So the main difference is the competition field is a track. It's not a full football field. So, and that's what we have done. Field show obviously uses the entire football field. The show times are longer, so we have to do from a 6-minute to a 10-minute show. It's judged differently. It's always on field, so you've got to take in those considerations when you design your show. We feel like our program has advanced enough to now compete at like the world-class level. And so the field show competition in Indiana, especially in what's called, there's other divisions. So there's a scholastic division in field show competition, but we are in the open class of that. So we're competing against Carmel and Avon now, and we feel like our program has grown enough and we've gotten good enough to compete at that level.
I would say the changes that have affected us the most, or affected me the most, was the time commitment. So in in track show, the time commitment was solely the summer plus a couple weeks in the school year for football games, whereas in field show, there was a minimum commitment over the summer of a week or 2, and then majority of the season is spent in the school year after school with rehearsals. So the biggest change would be just adjusting to the new time commitment.
There's more hours, so it's actually not as drastic as some people think as far as from what we used to do hours-wise, but the difference is those hours are now spread out over the entire fall, where we used to put all those hours in 5 weeks in the summer. So we would practice 7 hours a day in the summer. Now we take those and we practice 9 hours a week.
Our ensemble this year sounded the best musically, better than what we've sounded in previous years, and I would hope that we continue to grow in our musical capabilities even more with hopefully growing in size and numbers next year and the following year, which will help produce a larger, more full sound that will help us compete with those larger bands in Field Show.
Musically and visually, we have made drastic improvements from years past, partly due to the fact that we have more people and we have a wider area on the field to work with. So we're able to do some things visually that we weren't able to do because we were so compressed in years past. But I think in the years going on from now, we can definitely stand to improve in both of those areas even more than we already have.
This year, at the end of the season, the band made their triumphant debut to the Bands of America competition. They have a bright future ahead of them and are hopefully marching towards a national title.
Overall, we did very well. Going from, winning 2 state fairs to competing with grand national champions, I feel making it to a semi-state performance was a huge adjustment for us, and I think we stepped up to the plate very well.
I personally enjoyed the season so much better. We get a lot longer time on the field when it all boils down, and we get to compete against better groups, and our show's better. We're doing things that were pretty much unimaginable in years past, and it's really fun to be part of an ensemble that's that elite.
I would say I have enjoyed this season more than last year because of being able to spend more time with my peers and kind of growing with the people around me, spending more time with them in school and after school for rehearsal.
So as you've seen, there's been a lot of change this year for the program, the change in format being a big leap for the band to take. While it may be difficult, they're putting in the work, and I have no doubt, at this level, the Marching Millers are going to make some noise.
People love video games, but the popularity of lots of titles phase out after 2 or 3 years. However, there is one game that is back after a 10-year absence. Producer Vince Dawson explores the comeback of a 2009 oldie but a goodie, Minecraft.
With games like Overwatch, League of Legends, Smash Bros., and Fortnite dominating the news for its high prize pool tournaments and explosive popularity, there is one game that has been quietly making a comeback: Minecraft. You don't play many video games. Minecraft was released in 2009, and at its time was one of the biggest games ever. Minecraft is a game with no given purpose. You spawn in an infinitely random generated world, comprised entirely of 3D blocks, and you can do whatever you want with them. I wanted to find out why some NHS students were going back to Minecraft and what they thought about the game.
I like Minecraft because it's something I grew up with. I started playing it when it first came out back in 2012. Just something me and my brother would play with each other. So it's kind of has that sentimental value to me.
What can I say? Minecraft changes people. It brought me closer to just Earth.
I play it because it brings back memories of childhood, and plus it's something to do when you're bored with your friends.
I also wanted to know why they thought Minecraft was coming back as a game.
It's a mix of bigger YouTubers, and then it's just what was it, its 10th year anniversary. It was just a good time for it to make a comeback, I guess.
I think what caused the comeback for Minecraft would have to be a combination between memes, big YouTubers, and also people looking for something to go play, because at the time that's when Fortnite was hitting a low, and that was the most popular game at the time, and everyone kept on seeing Minecraft come back up. So they were like, yo, remember this game? Let's play it again, because it hit all of them. They're like, okay, nostalgia, I see Minecraft on the come up, and it made everyone jump on that, and then it just blew up after that.
I think because just they've added some stuff, and also everyone's tired of all the kids on Fortnite, so they were just let's go back to Minecraft.
I still play Minecraft because the possibilities in it are just insane, and there's still good community within the school that plays it, so.
I really like it, but there's a lot more they need to change, add new stuff and all that, but it's a good move forward.
The reason I enjoy Minecraft is just, it's a fun time. You can do whatever you want. They still are updating the game. They have a good, devs and everything. They do what the players want, and I don't know, it's just my world. I can do what I want.
The state of Indiana leads the nation in roundabouts, but the downside is that they are expensive, time-consuming, and, well, not everyone likes them. Producer Paul Stage shows why some people love roundabouts, but others go out of their way to avoid them.
As roundabouts become more common in Noblesville, we went out to gather student opinions.
I really like them mainly because it seems like they create the flow of traffic a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Hey, I'm Mr. Wilkins, Project Lead the Way teacher, coming straight to you from outside the school by the roundabout. I think roundabouts are great. I don't know how many more we need to necessarily have in Noblesville. I think it's important that we consider traffic flow, and if there's a backup starting to happen at stop signs, then it's probably a good idea to put it in. Roundabouts are an excellent solution to traffic control where it makes sense. So when you have small roads coming together that used to have a stop sign and the traffic flow is starting to pile up, you need to start thinking about a roundabout. Roundabout construction can seem to take a long time, but you have to understand they're moving sewer lines, they're moving all sorts of other stuff in preparation to put that in, so it's important we consider that. And I think overall, they actually take pretty small amount of time for what they produce as far as traffic control. I know there are a lot of places where they have great decorations in the middle of them, so I think it's important to consider maybe throwing in some community artwork in those places. Okay, so I have a little bit of advice for people driving around roundabouts. It's all about anticipation. Take a look left as you're coming through, make sure no one's coming, but left is the only direction you gotta look. Everyone to the right of you is going a different direction, so look left and then go.
I think they're alright. They help traffic move along. For the time it takes to construct them, I feel like it's a great payoff for the way it helps the flow of traffic after it is constructed.
It makes it easier for most people to get past the roundabout because a four-way stop creates a lot more traffic than a constant flow of traffic. Well, we have a lot of them already, especially in Carmel, but I'd like to see probably more because of, I don't know, they're just a lot easier to get through instead of a four-way.
That's all for this episode of Around the County. I'm Casey.
And I'm John. Join us next time for another trip around the county.